Hi, and welcome back. We are in the final episode of Mercy of Time. Thanks for joining us. This is Live from the Apocalypse. We are playing games for charities, specifically the International Rescue Committee right now. So we've donated. We hope that if you enjoy what you're seeing, you might be inspired also to throw some money at a very worthy cause. Rather than supporting us financially going to us, it goes to the IRC. And we'd appreciate if you use the donate link for that one. If you don't use the donate link, it doesn't go to our counter. But our donation so far has for this session already, so we'll hope you'll consider that one. This is Wildcard Wednesdays, so this is one of our shorter campaigns every other Wednesday that's been running, and this is, as I said, the last episode of Mercy of Time. We've been a little bit of everywhere since this has, gotten going. From starting on, New Year's Festival to blowing up a mountain and it erupting to finding some prismatic time bread. We've been a little bit of everywhere. And then this is hopefully going to wrap up the story in a way that's exciting and satisfying, and we'll see how we do in the space of our time that we have tonight. But that's the real Mercy of Time, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a bunch of things that are kind of going on to set us up for what's going today. Did I forget anything?
Anything logistic? No, I think you're good. Just, if you like what you see here, just hit / donate in the chat. That'll call up the link.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay. All right. So to get you reminded, hopefully, of where we have been, and to launch us forward into where we're going. In the last episode, so the penultimate session, the team had a rather interesting visit from an entity that gave them some information and some clarification on things we'd already been expecting, and have an idea of sort of where they're going from here towards that exploding mountain of molten rock, because that seems like the safe way to go. We started off last session where they were starting a new day after having helped this small village that was packing up to get the heck out of town and head off to the coast. Our group has decided to continue on the road towards Neildra, which is a larger city that might have some of the artifacts we were looking for from the very beginning. We have a little bit of a lead about a ceremonial bowl that was stolen from Toad's people, so that is why we're headed in that direction. You're also reunited with someone that you met in the very first sessions. A goblin named Nenafreda has come back into your sphere of influence, and joined the party as it heads inland on the road towards the city, and specifically towards a vendor that is rumored to have potentially the bowl, but also like religious artifacts. And you've noticed some things among the people that are evacuating in the opposite direction from where you all are going, away from this exploding mountain, that not only is it people that have cobbled together all of their belongings to escape what's happening catastrophically in the world, not just these divine visitations, but also just the physical threat of, I might be covered in lava if I stay in my house. Happens, that's every other Tuesday, but you've noticed that some of the people that are coming the opposite direction don't just look like people that are fleeing. They also are identifying themselves with this red-orange color in some of what they're wearing. So whether it's like a sash or a emblem on them, they're identifying with the color of the comet that's in the sky that up until this point we were following in the same direction. It's over your shoulders now, over the sea. But that those that are wearing the red-orange color have kind of loosely identified as those that are starting to answer that call for champions that you've been hearing when you've been in this separate space outside of time. And I mean, I don't want to call people cultists, that that feels like a strong word, and yet by the same token, So you have a couple of things that are on the burner right now. Yes. In terms of character wise, anyone as you're headed towards Neildra, what are and this exploding volcano with the cultists coming the opposite way. You've got, we'll say, about like a good day's travel still to get to where you know that this vendor is going to be. You have Ninafreda and her like intensely colorful wagon that's with you. The mission is still to continue forward. We've talked a couple of times where you had the opportunity to be like, we could change course. Like people are moving in different directions, and our heroes have decided that the place to go is probably the most currently dangerous. So what's
okay? We established last session that it was less that we all wanted to go to the volcano, and more that three of us shrugged, and Zerk said, "Let's go to the volcano."
And Zerk was like, "I am certain of this direction."
Yes.
Yes, I call that tacit. I don't want to call it consent. That's not tacit agreement, shall we say? Yes, but you have strong reasoning for going forward. So what's the feel?
Just some like housekeeping for Zerk. With the America telling us there's going to be challenges ahead, and Zerk takes that as presumably there's going to be a battle. I'm going to drop the infusion of the bag of holding, and I would like to go up to Belle and ask to see her armor.
I mean, I don't have much in the way of armor, but sure.
You're wearing hide, I think, right?
Yeah, I just have light armor.
Yeah. I think you're literally the only one with other person with armor in the group. So
that is also probably true. Yes.
So, Zerk, like I've used this before on my armor. This now was enchanted by the dwarves, so I can't mess with those. But yours is unenchanted. He goes to work, and you have a armor of magical strength, and I will DM you what that means.
Awesome. Thanks, Zerk.
So if the bag of holding is no longer holding the infusion, your stuff is now just in the back of the cart. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
I mean, you had a cart this whole time. It was just holding a bag.
It's holding the time bread.
Yes. If any, really, like the number of the original caravan that you left Obsidian Bay with, that's still traveling in this direction, has dwindled to probably maybe 3. So there aren't many people that would be like taken aback by the fact that like, oh, hey, now there's a whole bunch of supplies that it didn't look like they had before. Who did they steal that from? But like those going forward also don't particularly look like the reason that they're continuing forward. Like you have to imagine that these are people that are like headed on this way because there's like someone still waiting for them that they haven't seen coming the opposite direction. So in that way, it kind of goes mostly without being noticed. Mostly without being noticed. Might be some of the people that are like walking in the opposite direction that as this happens have that like faux moment, but they're like, this is not priority number 1. Awesome. So what are we? And what's the prediction? What are people thinking? What are we talking about as we're headed in? And I'm sorry, you had one more housekeeping thing because I cut you off before you were done.
No, I was just saying that was it for that. And then I was gonna say while working on that, Zerk would say, I recall when Merrick was speaking, when I made my analogy of flies to gods, she referenced that being that's been contacting us is a fly. Yeah, she thinks it's one of us, maybe trying to ascend. I know there are plenty on my plane who would love to do that, but is there anything around here?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there are plenty of people and creatures and even stranger beings that would love to ascend to godhood if given the option.
Yeah.
It's a pretty tempting offer.
Maybe not even God, maybe just extend their life beyond what they were supposed to be given.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
Anyone say carrying a piece of artwork that might hint at that very same.
Listen, we're on the same page. I'm just trying to decide if Brand would talk about it. I think she would say very cautiously, I knew a man once who had done such a thing to himself. Found a way to live forever by removing part of himself and hiding it away somewhere.
What part?
I wish I knew. The soul, maybe, if such a thing exists.
So there's an Ocnoptic jar with his brain in it somewhere.
Well, I've seen brains in jars. That's more of my thing.
Okay.
Brand is going to say, yes, probably, but also she's a very bad liar. So it might be obvious.
Yeah, can we roll an insight check maybe? How much
Sure.
is...
You can roll it versus like deception if you want to, Brand, or you can just.
Yeah, I'll try rolling deception. I'm very bad at it. Okay, cool. If you beat a 6, you can tell Brand is lying.
11, I believe.
Yeah.
11.
Okay, so yeah,
I got
that
18.
one's probably stinks of some untruth. Yeah.
Any...
Yes, a brain in a jar, definitely.
Zerk's eyes light up.
Okay.
But I don't think she's going to like offer any more information unless anybody asks. She's pretty convinced she told a very good lie
Okay.
and that everybody is 100% buying it.
Oh my God, she's a teenager. Yeah.
She's not a teenager.
Yeah.
Zerk will kind of leave it there for now.
Okay. So Zerk has some ideas about what it is that you have been given information about, or that you were like hinted towards from your visitation from America. You correctly identified her name as she, which did please her a little bit. That you were visited by this goddess of harvest and seasons. Well, she was like, she is related to time, as she told you before, but that this is not within her purview of how, like, what she controls about time does not like across historical or like it's mostly about the cycles of life and like the turning of the wheel of the year, not so much in terms of like march of history. So she did give you a like, this is not me because this isn't how I do time, friends. Yes. She gave you a gift. Yep. In terms of the things that you're thinking as you're going forward, do you remember what else she told you?
Well, show us a lot of things.
She did.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. Toad was
that is true.
Toad was asleep.
In
Toad
game, Toad was
She did
asleep.
touch Toad though, which
She
I
did.
want to follow up with Toad and see if he feels or looks any weird. Anything. Um, yeah, I mean, she did say that she thinks that whatever entity is doing this is trying to gain followers and kind of
Yeah, like the call for
artificially, the call for champions to
yeah the call
artificially
for
create a,
champions,
yeah,
right?
which seems like is maybe working given the people with orange.
Would one describe these people as champions?
No,
Yeah.
but if they're just looking for strict numbers, then
You said we couldn't call them cultists.
Yes, between these two extremes, one might find another way.
yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of raw number, it does look like they've amassed. And the fact that it is a they is somewhat of a was a reveal also. She showed you that what you were seeing was two figures, just like inharmonic in such a way that it was difficult to see that they were separate. They're gathering a following, whether it's valid champions but if America specifically mentioned that if what they were trying to build was piety and not faith, that this was one of the reasons why it was kind of an amateur effort in her eyes. So the so the two of those have a different goal, right? There's a difference between somebody that is being pious versus someone that's being faithful, and she clearly indicated which one she thought was the superior of the two. But yeah. All right, conspiracy theories before we blow the whole thing up.
I laid out my stuff. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I do think it is possible that my surrogate lich dad is involved in this, but don't know for sure.
Okay. All right. So as you continue down the road over the course of the day, the traffic of people heading back the other direction has gotten bombs of rock and flares of lava as it reaches the surface, and the like streams down. At night, you're able to see like rivulets of the molten rock heading down the mountain face. The like this mountain at the edge of it's the Utons heading towards the city. You're going in the same direction inland. And as you travel a little bit further, the mountain shifts towards more of the east, and the city line is a little bit further to the west. The number of lights you saw in the distance of the city lights the first time that it appeared have severely dwindled to the second night that you can see them along travel. It doesn't cause like light pollution level of, but the like just glittering of the fact that there's a point of civilization holding a fair amount of people. If you were going by the lights now, not knowing that that is a city that you are approaching, you probably wouldn't estimate it anywhere near a city population. It's only that the lights are more spread out that would give you, and that you've also previously known that this is where you were going. So there's a flood of people coming the other direction. What had been before almost like 2-lane traffic through this road that's well worn, even though it's also partially traveled in time to be a little bit more primitive than it started, now becomes you have to do some of your travel off the road to the side, depending on who's coming in the opposite direction, even with your like animals and cart, and because there's just so many traveling the opposite way. But you do make it to this crossroads that was described to you when Ninafreda was talking about this vendor. That you have the option of heading off toward the city proper or continuing on the road. New player enters the game. And at that place, there's a bunch of people that are taking advantage of. Like, there's almost a little market that is bell alert. There's a little, like, set of stands that have been hastily set up, clearly to take advantage of the fact that people have fled without being able to plan. And that some of the people that are fleeing have decided to take this as a cosmic event and act in a, manner that may benefit them should they be chosen as particularly pious. Or so you have people that are selling really inflated costs for the basic supplies kind of thing that you all grabbed before you left Obsidian Bay for probably a good 10 times or more what you paid for things like water skins and like barrels of salted pork and the things that you would take for a longer journey. None of this is uncommon, but if you didn't take it with you heading out past this point, they're like, well, next stop of civilization won't be until you reach the coast. Hope you brought what you needed. And there are plenty of people buying and squabbling amongst themselves for the very remaining bits of any particular supply. Several of the vendors have set out things like they no longer have lantern oil. So if you needed that, too bad. And there is along the other side of the crossroads. So this is the Y fork here. Aside from where the supplies are being sold, you have this very reedy human man with this well-groomed but very, very pointy beard and some really fantastically groomed eyebrows that just sort of spike up at the end towards this like bushes towards his temples. It reminds you almost of a butterfly wing if you were to so choose that with your grooming. If one lets these things go, but it's cultivated this way. It's a choice. And he's well groomed and to a particular style and well dressed, but what he's selling isn't supplies. What he has is little vials and then flasks of what he's calling holy water. There are star gems that have the little inclusion cat eye star. There are things that are clearly used for prayer, so strands of prayer beads and the bowls that sing and bells and things that you would use for meditation or prayer. There's candles, which it does look like most of those that were plain have kind of already been sold out. There's incense, there's different kinds of herbs, so your spell components, actually, if you were down on something, there's a fair amount of those things that are here. And then some items are listed as that they are a relic or a divine of, and some of the names you kind of recognize as being from the pantheon that people worship around here. And some of them are things that you certainly have never heard of before. And a fair amount of those red, orange, sash, etc. wearing individuals are looking at the ephemera of worship or relic that's available at this stall. For what's out, you don't see anything that looks like the ceremonial bowl that Told has been describing this whole time. But there's there are the singing bowls that you would use for meditation or prayer, but nothing that looks like what Toad has been describing with that very unique design and ceramic based rather than metal or wooden.
We're never gonna find this bowl.
It doesn't mean you're not going to find it; it's just not out.
Uh,
So the got
I think Zerk will hang back for 10 minutes and ritually cast Detect Magic. He'll just be pressing buttons on his wrist little calculator.
is the cat actually going to drink from the?
No,
Okay.
he just wanted to know what was in there.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so while that's going to take a couple of minutes, does anyone want to approach first, get a checkout for? Or are we going to wait for what Zerk finds? I guess, Zerk, did you communicate that you're doing this, or are we just going to?
I'll say you guys start the conversation. I'll see what's real and what's not.
I've also got detect magic, and I will also start. Start ritually casting it, so we can split up.
Okay, so the two of you are going to hang back and see for yourselves whether or not you've got. Okay. So Toad and Zerk will do that, partially because they don't want to talk to people. So Belle and Brand, it's up to you.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I-
the two.
I don't think anyone in this group wants to talk to people.
No.
But fair.
Yeah. I mean, so Belle will turn to Nenafreda because she knows Nenafreda, and ask her if, like, because she's the one who brought word of this dealer who might have this bowl. Be like, do you recognize anybody here? Is it this guy? Did you have an idea of who it was, or did you just hear a rumor that somebody was selling?
Oh no, this is the guy.
Okay.
He's not terrible. Like, you gotta respect the hustle or whatever, but like, I find this stuff fascinating, and definitely not everything is, I mean, well, I guess we'll let them tell us, but like, I'd be real surprised if there was anything too shiny, if you know what I mean. But every once in a while, he comes across something that's actually real or valuable, or so this is not like terrible to check in. I mean, I could start the conversation, but I don't really know exactly what you guys are looking for or what we're going to find.
Well, the bowl that you were trying to help Toad find back in Obsidian Bay.
Yeah, no, the bowl. Yeah, I guess I mean, that's the only thing we're looking for. And she'll like, kind of like straighten what she's got and pull like a couple of after like rummaging in, and for a while she's got like most of her body in the back of the like cart, like feet just kind of freewheeling, and she'll come back and she's got like a handful of things that are probably could belong on that table front. So she's got like a hematite, like stone that's like nice and smooth and polished down, and she'll have like a pouch of what looks like some sort of like oval components, and she'll like, well, we'll see what we can get, but it's just an idea. So you guys will walk over. Bran can be threatening in the back. It's fine. She's like, oh yeah, how's the business? And like come up to the like table set that the stall has got about is like here on her. So the like tips of her ears and the top of her hair and the little like jaunty hat that she's wearing today is above. And she like, good to see you out, I guess. Has it been profitable? And she's like, Tim, how you doing? It's TEM, by the way. And the vendor with these like fluffy eyebrows, like, Nineveh, I haven't seen you in a dog's age. Business is good. And he'll like kind of sidle over to the side, like while letting people who look a little bit serious about like I mean, I don't relish the idea of getting caught in whatever, and like gestures towards the volcano, whatever that's gonna spew out. Who knows how much time we have left here, but in the meantime, like anything that can vaguely pass as an artifact, is it's fetching both a good price, but also just like the simple stuff is flying out pretty easily. You got plenty that need like have some kind of magical talent. They just need like a component that they didn't take with them. Like how many people are actually going to select back Wano out here? But anyway, if you're talking about just something that looks like it could be special, but you know better. I said like this one's with you, and he'll gesture at Belle and this is Belle, and the like scarier one is Brand. She can burn you if she wanted to. She also packs a mean punch. Good people to know, you know. We were curious about a couple of things, like in specific. So I guess we should kind of get a sense of have you come across anything that things you think is more authentic? I guess. And he'll look kind of guarded for a second. Well, and anything that looks, like I said, like it's gonna be special. You've got these kids come through. Hey, I'm not a faithful dude. I've got, like it's hard to tell what somebody's gonna consider to be an artifact. Some people's gonna consider to be like a really good place to put a candle. Some people are gonna decide that they want to eat off of it. And some of it probably should go in the trash, but like if it looks like it's special, they're fetching good price from some of these, people with the I'd be asking a lot for anything that looked like it seemed real. So
just like that it's like I like that it's a local merchant learns that it's lucrative to lie to people. Like for the first time, like it's never occurred to him before that he could just tell people something's valuable when it's not.
Well, if you've never had like the opportunity, like this is a once in a lifetime, like I like that. No, it's like do you ever sell a vuvuzela before you get to the cup? I don't know. Like this is yeah, you definitely get the sense that he's got at least more than he's letting on. You're welcome to roll like insight or probably insight. We've got like a minute before the timer comes up on these detect magics to find out what else is interesting or if there's like a concentration for. But
God damn it.
I can roll insight.
I was going to say that I'll roll to try to intimidate him, but I'm bad at that also. I'm not good at anything related to social. I'm not good at anything related to social.
Who has the highest charisma? I have 8. Honestly, I'm above the board. Who has the highest
rip
charisma?
it, baby.
I have 13.
Slop that down.
Thank you,
I have
Rip It and Rip It, for your donation. We
One for the
appreciate
big
it.
boy.
Thank you so much for your donation.
My players have decided to just completely and just like talk about their numbers like it's fine. It's the last one.
Mine's 8, so I feel pretty confident I should never talk to anybody.
I mean, I'm supposed to. Yeah, I'm a tiefling, so.
Mine's
you got some charisma bonus. That doesn't mean that you started.
That doesn't mean that I'm actually charismatic. But I can.
I feel like
I can roll
Toad
insight.
secretly has like a 16 or something.
No.
Okay,
I mean that's a 21 insight.
Okay, awesome.
So
you definitely get the feeling from like where he hesitated and where his voice was like a little bit less modulated that he has some things that he believes are like actually special.
okay.
And Nenafreda specifically used the word artifact. So like, the components and things that he has, like he mentioned, some of it is things that you could use as someone who needs components for spells, and like that's a thing that you might need. So yeah, you can jack up the prices on those, but they're not inherently special. It's how you use them, right? Like a what is it, like a piece of wool, and like like that's not gonna grave dust on its own is just but bat guano, excellent fertilizer. However, and like some of those are rare to come by. So, but when she said artifacts and he got cagey about it, so he has at least some things that, or something that he feels like is really special. And from the things that he just point blank said, he's holding out for someone to offer a lot of money for something that might be.
Find a lot of money.
You did say in the beginning that we have enough money to buy anything we want,
That's true.
but I feel
I don't feel like that's how I phrased that. And that was in the context of you supplying yourselves for this. So you got supplies. You told me what you wanted.
That's true.
Mhm.
If Belle like doesn't
I
want
mean,
to
you have at this
handle
point
it.
a lot of like draft animals. If you felt like being like, here's like 8 horses at that point, like at this point, you have many.
That's true.
But then
Many
wait,
horses. We could probably
If
sell them.
if Belle doesn't feel like doing the actual confrontation, if you like signal brands, I'll try to do intimidate anyway.
Yeah, I'll probably
But-
do that. I mean, I could just use Psychic Whispers with you.
Oh, that's
That
true.
would be the easiest way of doing it. I could do that.
That is also true. Yeah.
1d8. I'll just do it with all 3 of us since you all are within.
Ninifred is gonna like, while you're, I guess, considering what we're doing with this, and we're
Yeah.
waiting for some indication from Toad and Zerk for like, hey,
Yeah.
like there's some,
Yeah.
purple shimmer over
Yeah.
here. She's gonna be like basically like trading out like items that he has for what she brought over, and like not really consulting him about it either, because like I know what this is actually like. Like, all right, you got like the hematite there, but like like maybe I want the lapis. It's fine.
We can let her haggle. If I can still see Zerk and Toad, I assume they haven't wandered off that far. I'm going to cast Psychic Whispers, which will last for 7 hours. And I'll indicate to everybody.
You may wish to write that down so you don't forget that you have the ability to do that later.
Okay.
7
7
that could
hours
be helpful,
Psychic
I
Whispers.
imagine.
Yeah.
Another pet on the team.
I'll just let everybody know that this guy seems like he might have something using Psychic Whispers, that he might have something of value
Sure.
and
That's
authentic.
10? That one is?
It's chosen creatures can speak telepathically with me.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
For
go
as long
ahead
as
and-
I want, as long as we're within.
What do you say? Because I imagine that this is going to be a little bit jarring when they.
Bran, I've done it to Bran before, so Bran knows.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I've done it to the other 2. Hey guys, it's Belle. It's fine. We can now just like talk. We can talk in our heads for the next few hours. But just as a heads up, this is this guy that Ninifreda knows. He, it seems like he definitely has something that is a genuine artifact, or at least he thinks it's a genuine artifact. So, might be worth checking out more.
And they can talk to you, and you can talk to them, but they
Yep.
cannot talk to each other. So it's not like Brand can whisper back and Zerk can.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll have to like, if they want to talk to each other,
Yes,
they have to tell
you
me
would have
first,
to,
and then I
yes,
can.
but everybody can talk to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That
she
makes
has
sense.
the best tin can. It's one of those big Folgers ones. Everybody else is
Mhm.
like a canvas. How
Well-
how old am I? I'm making these references.
I think with that knowledge, then like Brand is gonna take a step forward towards the merchant and kind of like crack her knuckles and is gonna say, we'd like to see the most valuable thing you have.
Can I
And
kind
I
of
will
like,
roll intimidate.
yeah? Can I back her up with that too? No, just as like look kind of scary behind her.
Yeah, like I mean, I do
I
happen
was
to
gonna say,
have.
how are you planning on helping with this?
I mean,
I do
I
happen
can
to
lower
have
my
two
head.
Or
D20s
not,
here.
I can, yeah.
I mean, I have horns, sharp teeth, and a tail. Like,
Yeah, but okay, so what are you doing with those to be particular? Like, you're also probably taller than the average of like people. That's certainly nothing
Probably.
I'm afraid of.
yeah.
But just your appearance, like, and this is, as we mentioned before, like Neildra is a little bit more cosmopolitan than
That's
certainly
true.
the area you've been traveling through. So it's not like he's never seen a tiefling. Like Bran looks a little bit unusual because of like her skin pattern, etc. But like the intimidate, like if you want to actually help this process, just standing there, like you've already walked over. So
Yeah, I'm trying to see
how
what
we
I can do.
how we taking advantage of that tail, teeth, horn situation to be like, come on, you
I
gotta
do a
work
little
for
bit
it
of magic.
I know that's what I'm trying to figure
so
out what I can do. I mean, I can make a blade
Prestidigitation or
show
something.
up. I have actually I have where'd it go? I have thaumaturgy. So yeah, I could
What do you
just
Ooh.
Thaumaturgy is useful in
yes,
instances as this.
thaumaturgy
Yes.
is good
What do
for
you want to
this.
do with
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
No, I've
I
never
was gonna say
used
you
it.
are a tiefling, so you
Yeah.
have thaumaturgy is free.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a cantrip. I can do whatever I want. It just yeah. Can I? It says I can make flames flicker and brighten, but I don't think I can just
yes,
make
ones that
them.
are already there. So if,
Yeah,
like there were torches
exactly.
around,
Yeah.
like there are
Well,
like lanterns and things.
I'll just
he
make
has
a little bit of
candles.
like rumbling thunder that is closer than the volcano. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Bran, go ahead and roll an advantage for this because you've got a extra bonus of at least the threat of something that could happen. You don't know what you do.
cool. Okay. Well, I thought I rolled 2 1s, but I rolled a 1 and a 20.
Hey, that's what
so-
advantage is for.
Yeah.
Yay!
And actually looking again, it's a 7 and a 20. So it's not quite as exciting, but
No.
I'm gonna go with the 20,
yeah.
which is a flat 20 because again, I have no intimidation bonus.
Okay. So with intimidate, like, look, I don't. The hustle here is for these, and he'll make that same gesture of like where a scarf would be. It's religious things. I don't know what's actually useful. I've got a couple of things that look like they're a little bit more, but like I couldn't tell you what they do or what they're for, or and the first thing that he's going to kind of like sort of show or indicate is he has like a long thin box, and he'll like slide like almost like those old like where you would keep pencils with the slide top. He'll slide to the side, and there's this set of like absolutely jet black beads that are not absolutely no shine, no the black of it is so dark it's like consuming the light around it. Like this isn't jet, this isn't volcanic glass, this isn't pumice. This is something that is like crafted almost out of shadow. That and is like it's certainly not. It's not Jasper. And he'll like slide the top back on. It's like I've got a couple of things. Hoping to get honestly a couple hundred gold at least for most of these guys. They're poor. It's kids. Some of them are real motivated, and it's not like all of them came from just the last clap house kind of, I don't know what it does. I don't know who you pray to. I don't think you should pray with this one. But and Ninifreda will like reach to the box and do the same thing, like kind of open it a little bit and look at it. And she'll close it and put it back like in front of him. Like it's an interesting thing, but if what you're looking for is religious and specific, she at least didn't think that one was, and it's certainly not the bowl.
Right.
So, those of you that are doing detect magic, so there is definitely things that have a fair amount of minor magic all over. So, like the components, once again, on their own, are not magical. So things that are useful for spells that are all over this guy's stuff just kind of read as basic. The box that they all have been handling has a like almost crackling purple magic to it. It's not super, super intense, but that definitely is a magic item. And then underneath the like table that he's showing things, there's a couple of spots of energy, including, and Toad, because you also cast this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one that has not just a very familiar shade of green, but also like as soon as you sense it, you get like almost hit with this wave of the smell of the like swamp where you grew up. Like that exact same combination of the like fungus, decaying matter, life, like water, tree combination just from sensing that something is there. So it's a total of 4 things that are interesting. One of them is the necklace that he just showed them. And then there's something that's familiar seeming underneath the table. So those of you who are
Yeah.
at the table, he just showed you a very interesting shadow necklace.
I'm gonna say that's interesting, but I want what's here and point directly to where the glow is.
Did you walk over? Because are we teleporting now? What are we
I
doing?
want to walk over.
Okay. Like you're
I
not
want to
behind
walk
the
over
table.
as a turtle with Woodier standing next to me, so I look full as intimidating as possible. And Woodier's now got some really weird looking eyes that wiggle back and forth.
Who is that? The like Ninafredo will do a like,
Introduce
oh,
myself.
this is Toad. And Toad's pet. The yeah. You have something that it might be more interesting to him. And the salesman will immediately go, well, I haven't showed you anything from the. I like I said, I had a couple of things that are might be interesting, but it's just a handful of things that look like they might be particularly special to one person. I like, and like he's saying that the things that are underneath, like he has a couple of things down there, but he doesn't know what you're referring to.
Can we just see them?
Well,
We might be
I'm not-
interested.
I'm not pulling
Like-
out all of the like.
Can't sell them if you don't show them to anybody.
And are you planning on offering to buy them?
I will offer to buy them at a reasonable price.
I'll kind of give you a look of that. Like, all right, we are internally going to calculate what we think this person is going to. So he's going to pull a couple of things from underneath, kind of one at a time. All of them have been like slightly covered. There is a book that looks like a spell book, and it's not particularly thick. It's bound in like a really nice like red leather cover. There's pages on the inside that have like, you know, he'll kind of flip through spell diagrams, and like if you were if you're a wizard, this would definitely be exciting find. It's not like could probably be a spellcasting focus kind of a deal. So he'll show you that's one of the things he has underneath. And he'll pull out a little statue of a rabbit in this like pinker kind of quartzy kind of rock. And when he puts it like out on the table and like pets it a little bit, the ears wiggle. He goes, I don't know anything about that one, but it's kind of a cool trick. Somebody out there's got to have a rabbit as a symbol, right? Like that. And he'll like cover that and then reach under and grab a like cloth covered bowl. And upon moving the cloth, it at least looks like the ritual bowl that Toad's been looking for. It's mostly made ceramic. It has the designer on the outside. You would, of course, immediately upon seeing it, it both has the same magical signature, because you guys from Detect Magic were able to tell that it is this particular flavor of magic, because that's what you learn. And Toad is going to get that same like nostalgic like onslaught of the sensory experience of being at home.
Can I communicate to Belle? Like, do we care what happens after tomorrow? Is this really? Do we need the rest of our supplies?
I mean, we might. How far are we from Neil Draw? Like, we could see it in the distance.
Oh yeah, no. Like if you're going into the city next, it's like less than a day to the city center. Absolutely. The like not far. The if you're headed towards the volcano, that is continuing down like the road of this Y fork, where like the stem of the Y is headed back towards the ocean, is the other direction of the fork because you have to head west, and that is a couple of days, but it's significantly closer. Like it is not. You're no longer out of like the danger zone should this decide to become a bigger deal.
My vote is we trade as many supplies as necessary to get all these items for the challenges to come.
I think we probably want to keep some of our supplies, but we have a lot of horses that we don't need.
Yeah, I think
I'm
Yeah,
all
yeah.
for selling the extra horses and
Yeah.
extra supplies. Also, like, I'm afraid I might have more stuff that will keep us from starving.
Yeah, nobody even likes riding horses. We should just get rid of them.
I mean, I don't mind having a horse, but I also don't need it since, I mean, we have the cart. If we want to keep, also, do we want to keep the cart? Is the other thing. Probably. Well, maybe not if we're going to sell all our stuff. I'm like relaying this to everybody.
Mhm.
I'm gonna offer. I have
this
good
conversation, like he's like kind of looking at you like
In real time, this
I
conversation's taking a
showed you
lot more time.
bowl, and a bunch of y'all got quiet and looked like you were having some sort of internal conflict.
Yes.
While
will
you're
say-
having this, he's gonna like go
I'm-
through the process of selling a bunch of incense to the kids.
That's totally fine. We're figuring that shit out.
All right, weirdos.
I will say I am
gonna
interested in.
communicate.
Ninifreda
The
has
Shadow
no
Gaze.
idea what you're talking about,
No,
but she looks
she-
mildly miffed that she's not included in the conversation for.
I'm sorry.
But she's
I can
also
only be
like, I've
figuring
done my like trading of things that like I guess is going on. Like I kind of like that rabbit thing, but I'm just sitting down here. Okay, guess I'm just along for the ride again.
Zerk says, "How much for all of it? All the
Yeah.
items?
That's fair.
Yes,
Everything.
The
all
four-
the magical ones, all the
Yeah.
ones you just laid out." And Zerk can see the magical ones, the points of the
Um,
ones that are actually really magical.
I'm gonna say I don't.
Before we get rid of all of our stuff, what does Toad
Yes.
have to offer? Because Toad might have.
I mean, I'm interested in those beads.
Like-
I'll have to say.
I'm gonna offer,
I'm
like,
curious what you
What?
will sell
keep
for
legs.
everything.
Yeah.
The first he's gonna got 2,000 gold.
How much do we have between us? Do we think?
Not that.
Not too.
Oh, okay.
No. You're like all of the so like you have the two oxen that are pulling the cart, right? So if you keep the cart, that's 2 draft animals for that one. It is unlikely that you would be able to continue to pull the cart, especially with people in it, without at least 2 animals to do so because of how many you are in the cart itself. You do have basically a horse for each of you, and then like an extra by now because you were able to take some not only from the one guy that tried to steal from you in the caravan, but also from the bandits that came through, because each of them were at some point mounted, with the exception of the ogres. So you have a fair amount of horses to trade, and with like tack, but that's also together not going to be enough to get you to 2,000. Now he's clearly giving you a number that he thinks is ridiculous because you're not going to be able to give him all of that. And like frankly, if he sells it piecemeal to a bunch of suckers, maybe he could make that. But you can either attempt to change this number or attempt to like only get a handful. Or
How
something.
How much gold approximately do we have? And I want to relay that, like, look around. Are there guards around us? Because I am cross because I finally found it, and he seems to be ignoring.
She's not saying 2,000 for the bowl. He's
I know,
saying 2,000
but-
for all of it together because that's what you asked.
I want to take the bowl and not give him anything. But I realize that I'm in a civilized society and I can't then
We
there
do
may be
live in a
people
Kind
around me
of.
that I can't mess up.
Is it still
Yeah.
civilized?
Yeah, but like if there's guards making sure that these merchants aren't hassled, that the merchants are
I
paying,
can't imagine. Well, yeah, that's true.
maybe I don't want to
There's
trigger
like,
that.
because you're not in the city, this is the crossroads of like the road out. If you look around, so you can go ahead and give me a like just straight perception check
Yeah.
to get some sense of whether or not you have people that are like better skilled at stopping you. Should you
30
choose to just be murderers?
I mean, I'm not one to be a murder
Also,
hober sometimes,
like
but
just
this is
as
my
a like remind like Toad is you know good aligned, I think.
yes, but I'm very cross that I finally found the stolen goods, and I'm like, these are stolen. You should give it back to me.
Yes, and your first like inkling what to do with that was to find a way to like steal it and
I know. And he said 2,000 gold. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not leaving without it. Look around.
that's right. Good aligned until money talks. So, great.
Good align to the plot.
Great. Roll me a perception check. What number did you get?
30-20.
Okay. So there are 2 city guard that are probably within like interference distance. They are not paying a ton of attention to what you guys are doing because they are more interested in like basically helping this not be the gigantic ass traffic jam of people getting their supplies and on the road in and out. Basically, no one is heading into the city at the moment. So in terms of people coming out, they're more just kind of like hustling people to get going. So they're not on high alert by any means, and they are city guard. But you have 2 of them that are close enough that if you made a scene here, probably would feel compelled to like at least keep the peace. Maybe not necessarily against you, but just to like keep things moving. Yeah, there's a handful of people that look like they could sort of handle themselves. There's a fair amount of those red orange sash like kids and kittens around that like this is a great opportunity to prove yourself as a worthy champion, right? Like this guy was going to steal a thing, stopped him.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell the shopkeep that this is stolen. This belongs to me. It was stolen and is in your thing, and this is the exact one. So, do you want me to start shouting about you dealing in stolen goods? Um, you should lower that price to a much more reasonable one. Because I would happily cause a scene and start starting things.
Cool. Roll persuasion.
Oh no.
I didn't say the DC was like 25. I said roll persuasion.
14.
14?
Yeah.
1-4? Okay.
1-4.
It looks special. I got it off of some kid that got it off of some. Thought it looked 50 gold.
Okay.
Which, like, at least together you definitely have. That's like you guys have been adventuring for a while, and while you're not necessarily like the wealthiest of, you had enough to supply yourselves, no problem, and you've got enough. Especially once again, if you like, you individually might also have like all of your purse would be, but that's you have that if you wish to buy it off.
That's just for the bowl.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll just start fishing for my purse.
Okay. And he'll like tuck the cloth that it's in back and around it, and basically as soon as you pass him the money, he'll hand you the bowl.
Zerk in 30 seconds would like to take 5 rocks and do his magical tinkering and make them all shed light for a 5-foot radius and then dim light for an additional 5, so they're all the glowing rocks. Yeah, he's gonna do that for the next 30 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Frantically just working.
Okay, just like pebbles you picked up off of the ground, not ones from the stone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll hand you the bowls, you handed the money, he'll like basically like kind of like half count it in the and put it like down below in something that makes him like chinkering. Like I some of these I imagine are going to be special to somebody at some point, but nobody's actually come with an explanation of what any of them do or who any of them are for. Because like I got a thing that somebody claims is a knuckle bone of like a really important cleric, and that's both disgusting and I'm pretty sure it's a knuckle bone of like a pig. But the uh, it's an opportunity to turn a really quick profit for. So I didn't steal it.
Yeah, I know. But
So
thank you very much
you have
for
your bowl.
returning it to its proper people.
Yeah. In this conversation, like I said, like Nenfreda has basically been like manhandling his goods the entire time. That sounds gross. I'm sorry. Has been like taking the things that she brought over and like trading out for the stuff that she wanted on the top of his like stand without like negotiating at all. Just like getting what she got. And she's going to like kind of like look at the things that she amassed. And she's like, well, so I have kind of what I need from, I mean, I guess I can sort of respect the, like, you know, you gotta be, like, I guess, the kids don't know any better, but you don't see me setting up my stall, but um, I wonder if there's, like, a one part of that book that I want. Can I convince you to either trade me or I don't want the whole thing. I just want like a couple of things. And they'll take like 2 seconds to kind of like figure out what he considers like an appropriate price. And she's going to hand him a couple of gold and literally tear pages out of that spell book. Just a couple of them. Like it's like she takes like 2 of the pages, tears those specific ones out, and like folds them and sticks them in a little pouch that she's got hanging on her belt. She's like, well, I mean, if anybody else wants to do their shopping, but you know, like we might be actually, and she'll kind of look at Bella. She'll be like, did you like the necklace?
I did like the necklace. I was going to ask about that.
I mean, Tem, you gotta do me at least a little bit of a solid here. Like, obvious, like her accent just changed a little bit. Like, gonna have to be good to my people at least a little in the like, okay, like some of the kids are just they don't know. But if you could maybe fair price for Belle, and we I'd appreciate it and be willing to throw in if you wanted to take a look for anything that's like interesting-ish of mine. I don't know. I got plenty of component stuff that you're welcome to see because it does look like you're doing gangbusters with that. And like he's been at like the times of, like when you're not interacting with him, he is basically like turning over this inventory of like minor spell component and like religious ritual stuff. So if you want the necklace, he'll probably give it to you for a more fair price. And Zerk is now going to have a handful of pebbles that emit light.
Yes. Zerk will go up to the trader and be like, you can sell these for 100 times what you sell a simple torch. They emit the same light with no fuel, no heat. I will trade these for the rabbit or the whatever remaining magical items there are.
Okay. So, Belle, if you want to negotiate for the necklace separately, that's...
No, I'll see if this works.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
I was waiting for that.
He's going to, like, clap his hands over them if you, like, put them on the, like, tabletop. And, like, cover it with a cloth to, like, just sort of make it less obvious that he's got. So, like, I guess the reveal can be. And be like, yeah, if you want the necklace and the bunny. I didn't afraid to go out who she wanted out of the book. But yeah, I don't have any magical talent. I know it's not the the hardest thing to do mimic light, but yeah. This is good. I bet we've got, and once I set up shop out of here, there are gonna be people that want this. Heard the guys out of Lantern Oil. He will happily give the slide box that has the shadow necklace for Belle and the pink quartz little bunny to Zerk.
I kind of want that book too. What can I throw in for the book?
Like now that Ninifreda has taken the thing out of it, she's gonna kind of be like, there isn't anything else in it.
Okay.
I got the page. Like, yeah. She's like, if you want like the leather, go ahead and take it. I wouldn't waste your money.
All right. I'll trust her.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So anything else you want, like component wise? If you don't have it for some reason, we'll be happy to barter that off of you. Ninifreda will kind of like pull you along to back towards the carts. And she'll okay. Well, Toad, I'm glad you got that back. I know that was kind of your purpose to be out here. But I think we might have just had a bit of a stroke of luck. And she'll like unfold a couple of the pages from the book. She's like, I can use one of these. I wasn't sure if we were going to have to do all of the travel on foot or not, but this might make that a little bit easier. Yeah. So, if we could like get out of the flow of traffic, we kind of have to talk. And she'll like get a little like start drawing a circle in the dust of the road with like a little bit of her like pointy shoe. So yeah. Okay, so in terms of the bunny and the necklace, before I forget for this, so Belle, your necklace is going to give you a +2 to dexterity. It's real nice that way. Because it's shadow dancing. So it's also like, fetching little like perfectly spherical beads. It falls like right at like the collarbone level 4. It's tied together with this like blood red ribbon in between each of the. So like when you're wearing it in darkness, if somebody has like dark vision, all they'd actually see is the ribbon of it.
Oh, cool.
The rest of it will fade into shadowy bits. And then you're not entirely certain, just like interacting with the bunny, what it does. But if you like pet it once again, like right along the head and the ears do the little like wiggly thing, you get like a nice like warm tingly feeling with the finger that you did that for. So if you had to guess, and you have identify if you sit with it for a little bit, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I got to virtually cast
Go
that.
ahead and sit with that as you guys are moving to. So yeah, okay. So you're gonna move your I'm gonna zoom you forward a little bit because I want to make sure that we get to and that we can have at least a little bit of a break if we need it. As you like relocate out of like the throng of traffic that's both coming from now like the countryside and then people like leaving the city. Obviously there's more people leaving the city through and as supplies are going through. Ninifreda will relay to you that the thing that she took out of the spellbook specifically was a portal, because it would just be easier to use that instead of having to walk, and like it's gonna take a while, and like I don't even like the oxen are not gonna smell the greatest when we get towards the like lava, like I don't know, maybe you can eat them at a certain point, but like when does it just become burnt jerky? And she's gonna give you like the so I think 114 now. You stop like counting every exact birthday, because like that like cake is not like that's a lot of cake. But I put a lot of work into setting up my home to only have it get messed up in this whole process now that's like with these twins. And I was told that I should help you, which worked well because I knew who you were. But the it's just not nice to blow the roof off of somebody's house, and like it took me a very long time to set up in cooled stone my home. And when all of a sudden you have to end your business in the city because the mountain just went backwards 200 some years before you were even born, and now there's stuff coming out of it, it just makes it a little bit harder. I don't even know what exactly is left of my home because I've been traveling like this the whole time. But I would very much like to fulfill my promise to America and to help you all. I think she gave you the indication that you had help that was coming, if I'm not mistaken. So that's me. I'll be helping, but it might be helpful if we could get away. I have a suspicion that we could force another visitation from these homewreckers if we were to talk to one of the misguided youth that thinks that they could be a champion. But I think it might be a good idea if we forced a confrontation in a place where I have a little bit more control over the landscape. If that makes sense. So if we could go to my home and maybe have one of the people who thinks they're a champion answer the call, or have you all answer the call, we could force a confrontation. I would very much like to not have the continued destruction of this area and the end of the world and things being out of time, and I really don't. Yeah, but it was also indicated to me that maybe you'd be helpful in this portion of things. And when a goddess asks you to do something, you mostly say yes. So yes.
In order to save my home, I must save this place first. I'm in.
I mean,
yeah. I suspect strongly that if they're gonna mess up time like they are, that it will have a poor effect on. I mean, the point at which that mountain went off was before any of us came into existence, and I don't know what happens if it continues to grow in influence, but I certainly don't want to let some meddling kids be in charge of time. Yeah, I can help. I haven't been totally honest about my name. I liked Ninefreda, and it was really easy for the little ones to say when I first started looking like this. And so I kind of went with that one. Plus, it's kind of funny, right? But the halflings that I spend time with call me the Magnificent Collector. And my actual name is Nimrifirth. So it might just be easy to call me Ninefreda, but that's.
Now, which of us is living? Now I feel lied to.
Yeah, you had a problem with my
Anybody
name.
else have any Anybody else have any secrets they want to get out of the way?
I was just, has ever heard that name before? Has anyone ever heard that?
You may choose if you would like to roll Arcana, History, or arguably Nature. Any of you is welcome to try this.
That
I
would
really
be
thought
a
Zerk was just gonna. I really thought Zerk was just real casually was gonna answer Brand's question by saying, "I'm from space."
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's established.
you're on
Uh,
Limbo. Yeah.
That's actually a natural 20 for 28 Arcana.
Cool.
I rolled a
Um,
natural 1, so I'm like,
Okay, so Toad is no. I mean,
that just
in
makes
character
sense.
feels like it makes sense to me. Anybody else want to roll? It doesn't have to be Arcana. Like I said, it could be History. It could be Nature.
It's all the same for me.
I think I'm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
so
I'm
roll.
bad at all of that.
Yeah.
I can try it.
I can try. I don't. It's not gonna be any better than 28. Yeah, that's 17. I mean, it's fine.
In which one?
Any of them.
Pick one, please.
History.
Yeah, those are all int, so I am at -1.
Okay, great.
So
Yeah.
I'll try it. I got an 11.
Okay. Yeah, not. So with History versus Arcana. So Arcana, you're gonna recognize like both the structure of the way that she gave you her true name and the fact that it comes along with the title, the Magnificent Collector. And when she talked about forming her home in this like extinct volcano mountaintop, that these are things that like check some boxes in what you know about dragons. And that you probably also have an understanding that they don't live in dragon form a lot of the time, depending on what kind they are. So the fact that she has a humanoid form would make sense, especially when she was talking about looking like this. And so the way that her name is structured, and the fact that she had the title added along with it, along with that she made her home in an extinct volcano mountaintop, makes a little bit of sense.
Actually, I can't see because the virtual, but it's actually a dragon. Like for the,
Nice.
for the 20 on this one.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna clear it out. I love it.
Yeah.
History wise, Belle, you've been like in this area adventuring for a while. So one of the things that maybe you've heard is that the like mountain range that this is nice. I like it. There are different mountain ranges like in this like that, but like specifically where this volcano is coming from. If you were talking about like the Crystal Mist Mountains, you know that that's where like if there were like a white dragon you were talking about, that's where they would be from. The Jotun specifically had metallic dragons was the like species from that area. So you're not sure exactly which legend it's referring to, or like whether like like she's not super old.
I think there's a stream error. But I'm going to, like,
Yes, we're better. Sorry,
Okay,
I fixed it.
All right, yeah, I was like the hand went up, and I was like, do we have a point of order? Okay, great.
I'm going to.
So yes, I would like then if we want to do like 3 minutes of break, just to give, because I also very much stretch. I put myself into a pretzel here. It's a terrible plan. But before you take her up on this portal that she has just offered, that like your confrontation, that we can break a little bit and stretch, and then maybe like 3 minutes, and then come back.
Can't go below 5. Don't have a
Sorry,
3-minute timer
5
made.
minutes, and I said 5 clearly. 5 minutes, and then come back. How we feel?
All right.
All right. If you're watching, I hope you stick with us from like PS. We just had like a whole bunch of stuff that got dropped, so hopefully. But we'll see you again in 5 minutes then when we come back from break, and maybe use a portal that you just brought from a spell book that a merchant had outside of. It's fine. Yep. All right, we're back from break. The little bit of reveal. Oh, okay, good. We're still on. All right. We've just had a shocking moment. Your friend that you thought you knew, or maybe you didn't think you knew, but at least you had become acquainted with and had some ideas about, like, yay. Okay. We'll get it. It's there. It's almost there. You've been given a plan. That you're going to use this portal to travel to Ninifreda's actual home. Might not be the word anymore. Maybe the word is lair. And that if you force a confrontation with these this twin figure that's messing up time, that she feels like she has a little bit more control over what happens if you are to do it from her home, regardless of whether it's in some state of disarray, which it definitely is. Like, hey, look, that pool that you wanted. Maybe this wasn't what you were envisioning. It's a hot tub, not the same kind. But that you've got a chance now also to have a very powerful ally with you. And hopefully those of you that realize a little bit of what this means will have, shared that information with, or like voiced your suspicions. For you, should you choose to confront these twins, because she just referred to them as twins. Yes. So you have a like honest, if possible, bashful dragon in goblin form at the moment, like telling you that she's been tasked by a goddess to help you out, and the plan is to travel to the inside of the volcano and confront these whippersnappers in time.
Zerk is down
We've been
for
in worse
all this.
positions.
Yeah, Zerk is down for every bit of that. Just quickly identify on the little bunny.
You get the impression from the bunny that if you spend an action, because you all currently are not like injured or petting the bunny rabbit, that you will gain back a d8 of hit points.
Cool.
So how many of those you get is actually subject to a roll of mine, but that it's definitely a regenerative in the in how it feels, and you've got that sense from both the stone and like the action and that tingly feeling, warm feeling that you got when you pet it. That this would definitely be useful for healing. So
okay, and then with that, Zerk says, "How quickly do we want to strike? Do we know how precise the portal will be? Will it be on top of the twins in the room next to them?"
So I think you'll have to call them. My assumption would be that someone needs to answer the call. I couldn't find, and Marika wasn't sure either of exactly when they make their call. So the thought would be that if you answer or convince forcefully someone who is maybe a little bit more naively convinced of their power to call them, that we have a better chance of forcing an appearance. I also suspect that my home is going to be a more tempting ground for visitation than just anywhere.
I don't like trusting things to outside sources. I will call for the champion. I will be front center and call for the twins in your lair.
Oh, I think you should all do it. Or have one of the poor misguided youths of Scarfy origin
I
come with.
would rather
But
not
if you don't
involve
want
them.
to use one of them, that seems fine, because like, what happens if something happens to them?
We individually we are stronger than all of them combined.
Oh, probably. The yeah. But you know, you're not actually calling to be the champion, you know? And they would believe it.
I will make a call of some kind.
We can certainly try. Did we do you want to like bring a kid to like carry stuff or anything? Like that's a teenager would be good for, right? And like eating things. Like I'm not done. I don't like this. I'm not done with it. You consume calories, please. The like also I don't like what do a minor simple task. No, like now. Get off the Nintendo. No, okay. The anyway. The So she's offering that if you bring one of the cult followers to do this, their answering the call to be a champion would be from a place where they believe that they are like going to be in service to these this like entity that's making the call for the champion. If you all call, you are a significantly stronger, like more attractive option as to who you would actually want to be a champion for you. So that's a thing, but you don't have the power behind it of like the piety, because you're not offering to, you know, be their paladin in the world, probably. So it's not that it won't work. That's the reasoning for suggesting bringing one of the cult followers. But either way, if you're leaving with the portal, it's whether you're going to bring one of them or not. But she's like, we can go now. I don't need. I don't really need anything to activate this. This is, and I'll have you. I'll have you set up. Well, not set up. I mean, we'll put ourselves. Sorry, I am looking for the window in which I had this, because now I decide like I suddenly have like a whole bunch of them open. Okay, I can have it land us right where we really like need to be. Things are not well organized right now, and you're gonna have to forgive me for that part. But that there is an entrance to my home that at the moment is not as spick and span as it might be. But we can do that. If you are following me on the Roll20, by the way, and you move your open it up, you should now be on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Toad's still wondering why we're teleporting back to Obsidian Bay.
Toad wants to go back to what?
No,
now?
he figures we're still going back to Obsidian Bay, that she's still a goblin.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No.
Yes, sorry. Yes, when she says her home, you're like, okay, we're going back to the, yeah. Well, like, it might not be in the greatest of shape. Obsidian Bay did, like, empty itself out. That's fair. So when she's talking about the entrance to her home, there is a hall all the way to what would be, like, the east of this map, to the right side. That is what the entrance would be. Now, the, like, caldera of the volcano that has brought this like lava up into like magma that is now at the surface was not previously filled this way. There is a little like island that remains at the middle, but that kind of looks like it was formed of like rock that's cooled down rather than and it has no ceiling anymore. So this is open to the like, you know, cold winds of our like the mountaintops. There's a couple of different ways to get around once you're in there. Like the So there's different passageways through the rock. You can get around the caldera. It would have been easier to be able to go like through it to other places, but the only place that really like you couldn't go directly from would be going from the entrance all the way across to like the hall or the horde from going further north, because that does have passages that have been completely blocked by lava that's come out of the volcano. The path to the south will take you through some like winding passageways and then there's a hall that has been damaged but is still traversable, and some of the horde exists. It's steps down, like there's a different like broad platforms almost, or like plateaus of rock that descend a little bit to where the horde had been. When you get there, you will see, should you choose to go looking at it, that some of that has also now been swallowed by, which probably affects like her progression through like growing dragonhood somewhat. This is not a good set of situations. So when you get there, picking where you want to make your stand is going to be up to you guys. But she's going to drop you with the portal currently at the entrance, is what she's thinking. And we'll describe what that looks like when we get there. But if you all are ready to go, she'll set up your portal, and
So
do we need-
to fight now?
yeah, like now.
Oh, okay.
Like now,
Do
no.
something quickly.
Maybe. Can you either turn up your mic or get a little bit closer to it? I'm not sure if part of it is because basically you have a big old muffler right there. But
Yeah, I think I have a buffer.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna fill the water bowl with out of the water skins and start casting conjure water elemental from the ritual bowl that I just got.
I'm sorry. Start casting.
Conjure water elemental.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I dig it. So she'll be like, Toad.
Oh, I'm getting another ally. It's for the fight.
You say ally, like you're bringing that thing into my house.
You'll like this
Whittier.
one more. I'm gonna make Whittier look a little offended.
Okay. I mean, I guess it can't, but like, Toad, did you miss the part where like I'm gonna help?
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Mhm.
Thanks, Brand. Appreciate your support in this matter. Okay. Fine. How long is it gonna take you to make the new one come?
A minute.
Yeah, okay. All right, fine. And she's going to take like a little bit of ash that like had been in a component pouch that she had, and is going to mark where the circle is going to go on the ground, and start saying the words that she needs to in order to invoke this space. So like basically be ready for once the water elemental is. Does anyone either want to prep anything, drop anything, or make sure they take it with you from the supplies that you had in the cart? That was mostly traveling stuff, so I'm assuming kind of no. But like, if somebody's like, I really think we need rope, like, please, by all means.
I'm good.
Zerk just says to Brands, try to stay within 30 feet of me in the first moments of the fight.
And she'll be like, try to stay within 30 feet of me.
At all times. Okay. All right. Great. So, you have an elemental servant that's coming with you. It's a whole bunch of water because you said that you're using water elemental. Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking him into volcano. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's good. It's a choice. Yeah.
Listen, I only do fire damage, so like you're in
Sure.
better shape than I am.
And like physical, it's fine. Yeah, bludgeoning. It's yes. Okay. You also need to concentrate on that one, if I'm not mistaken, or no?
I don't. Lito, you're being a little annoying tonight. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, it's resistant to a bunch of things, etc. Okay.
Yeah, I won't be able
Would
to.
you like me to send you the stat block for the water elemental, by the way, so you know what is going on with it, or no?
I have pulled up the stat block.
Okay, just checking. All right. Okay. So because I mean, like, it's an amorphous or like formed thing out of a bunch of water. What does your particular water elemental look like? Like, is it? I mean, you just made it out of water from the water skin, but does it
Yeah.
take on the flavor of your like swamp water? Is it a big old like raindrop shape and like bounces its way around? What are we like? How we?
He's got some algae. It's not the cleanest water you've seen, which I'm sure Ninafreda is happy
Yeah, no,
about
she's gonna
bringing.
be like, you made a water elemental that smells like a pond.
Yep.
Like home.
And I'm just going to bow to it when it comes.
Yeah, and when
indicates
Brand
distance.
says like home, she's gonna be like, okay. Okay. Yes. Take the necklace with you. Take the bunny. Okay. She's going to finalize like what she was setting out on the ground and say a few words in a tongue that does not sound like her normal voice at all, and invoke this circle to like have a hum and then a spark. And where the ash is, it's going to form this ring of bright, like yellow, very, very warm tone light. And then the middle of it will like fill in with that same color and almost look like what you would be doing upon stepping into it would be like stepping into a like a little mist cloud of, but it's of like very bright, warm looking yellow light. If you're not used to these, you might throw up, but like hold your nose or take a deep breath or think of a happy place. I don't yes. So this will take you to the entrance and we'll go from there. And she'll step into it and then immediately so
Zerk steps right behind.
Yep. Bell
Brand follows.
Toad takes a water elemental under one arm and Woody puts it onto the other. All right, great. Okay, so upon arriving, Ninafreda lands with like just as though she'd been like set from like an inch above the ground onto the ground. The rest of you kind of like have this like landing force as though you've been dropped from a couple of feet. So you may like stumble or fall over. You immediately get that sensation of like just nausea and as though like you had somebody hit you really hard in the ear, like eardrum kind of dizziness, loveliness, but it abates pretty quickly. And what you're standing in is a like reasonably large entrance area that has two carved out of volcanic rock. Like it looks like would have been like where the lava flows came through and made tunnels. So the rock on the outside is a combination of like tiny little aerated holes and then areas where it's shiny, but very, very dark, like blacks and some like purpley bits, etc., like interspersed in there. The room that you're in, though, feels like it's lit from within these crystals that are formed all around you. It's like you stepped into a geode. There's beautiful, like intensely aquamarine tones crystal all along the like walls of this entrance cavern that you're in, with the exception of the floor. And the floor is this beautifully polished, like black with white veined marble. In like honestly, like it looks like it was probably set in blocks. Like you can see that there was an architecture to the way that this was put down. And like the light source from behind these crystals is ambient and dim-ish, but the room is wide enough that you've got like maybe like 30 feet astride and then about 50 feet long of just this tunnel of the inside of the geode. There isn't really anything else in this particular space, and then there's the two tunnels that head off of it. There's a larger one that goes towards the south, and then a like smaller one that goes off into the north. But even the tunnels, you can tell that the floor has been smoothed and shaped so that it would be easy to walk. Like this is a space that was made both by nature but also by like craft. And Alfredo will kind of go, "Oh, this is home. Welcome to my lair." Yeah. Yes. So if we go that way, you'll see my brand new lava lake. And if we go this way, you'll still see it in some pieces, but yeah, I'm not the happiest about that. I have a hall that might be a good place for doing our summoning. And like you can tell like there's a sheepishness to the way that she's like basically being like, my home is disgusting right now and I'm leading you through it and it doesn't look at all like I want you to, but also like this is my glorious, crystal mountain cavern and like when it was in its former glory, you better be impressed. So she's going to lead you through. If nobody else is like, this is the kind of space that I'm looking for, she's going to take you to the pillared hall. Okay, great.
That's
so
fine.
You'll be led along. You will find like along the way, there's like crystals that have been magically imbued with light. There's like beautiful collections of things that are like art artifacts and things that look like they've been well crafted that are in places that are not destroyed. Like there's things that are set into like insets into the wall, like the kinds of things that it looks like she was kind of amassing are things of like cultural importance, beauty, and like art and artisan craft. There's a fair amount of things made out of metal, but it's not like piles of coin. And it does look like also there's a fair amount of like books and scrolls, and she'll lead you to this pillared hall. So you're going to go along the south part, and as you walk through, this one has same thing, these magically imbued crystals all along the walls that between these like very tall like capital set marble pillars, there's a crack through the middle of the room along the floor where the marble of it has been not just cracked down but also separated, and there's this little like rivulet of lava that comes through, and one of the columns has fallen over top of like the floor and across the little rivulet of lava. So you can get across it walking across that column, but it's not like the easiest path you'll ever take. There is light, so for those of you that are not like seeing in complete darkness, both the lava's letting off its lovely, but also the crystals set into the walls. It's a really long space, but not as far wide. It's still about 50 feet wide. So this is a like huge area for you to be moving around in, and for you to set up this confrontation. There is a narrower entrance to the south, and then like built into same thing, like the like lava flow through the stone to the south. And then to the north, there's two much bigger like arched entrances out into the stone, going one towards sort of eastern direction and one towards western direction. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about on the map right now, if you are looking at the map. Okay. And it is, as I said, like it's a large space. You have a lot of room to move around, but that does mean you could also get separated. So how would you like to set up your, hey, we're going to be your champions?
I think towards the northern part of the hall, try and get them to appear on that north, like where it says pillared hall, so we can pincer in from the left, right, and the down side.
Yeah. Okay. You've got
Yeah.
some options in terms of where you can go in all directions, and it's not immediately next to a whole bunch of lava, which is great. That is an option. Okay. Ninifreda is going to offer that. She goes, I do have a couple of things that I think will be helpful. I can decide if when you come into my house, basically, whether you can do something upon coming in. So you can normally you would get a chance to like cast a spell, or if I allow you to do so. If it's like darker, or like sometimes I do it to keep it comfortable. I won't allow them to do that. So you'll have the ability to get a little bit more of a jump on what's going on if you choose to do so. I'll help if you decide to fight immediately. And I don't want you to get too freaked out when I change over. Yeah. I mean, I could do that now. That's fine. The I don't think we need to summon them with a circle or anything. I think you just need to call out that you're offering to be a champion. That might at least hopefully be enough to get an appearance. The only other thing that I can really offer that might be helpful right now is like, aside from the lava, I can make something more difficult to move through. The problem is that would kind of do it for everyone in the room. So if we get, I can make it harder for them to move around, but it would also be harder for you. Does that make sense? Make the floor significantly slipperier, like bring up, rocky bits from the bottom. It'll be hard to move through. So I can do that. And then obviously I can like fight him. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And she's gonna like walk further back to the south, and you're not gonna like hear so much of the like there's no like bells are ringing, or but you do hear a difference in like the echo of her steps go from these very like light little, it's an empty, largely echoey space, from being like small pitter patters to a more percussive and then almost thumping as it goes. And she'll turn around and head not immediately to where you guys are, but about like a good 30 feet down from the place where you've identified is a metallic young silver dragon. So she has a frill that goes all the way along from her head down her spine, down to her tail, and this like set of like frill and crest down like her throat. She has arms as well as wings and a tail, and is just this like gleaming, like almost pewter toned silver. And obviously, like she's not going to sound quite exactly the same, but she'll make herself like be far enough away from you in the dim light that it's not immediately obvious that she's there because of the different like reflections from the light from the crystals and the marble on the ground, because of how like utterly reflective each of her scales are. So she's far enough away that, but obviously she's not far. And you'll hear this low, almost like rumble of like, and you immediately get the sense of like okay, I'm ready.
I will call for the twins. I have an honest bargain that we will see that I'll be true to my word if I will be their champion, but they have to defeat us. That is my bargain to them.
Okay. As Zerk is like I mean, I'm assuming like brandishing your weapons, or not. I don't know.
I was kind of just like letting the group know like what my plan was. Like I'm not
Okay.
fully giving the speech yet, but yeah.
All right. So
I was
where is everyone placing themselves? And like, will you also yell, or are you gonna let Zerk do the talking? And
I would like
Bra-
to. I'd like
You
to
go
be
ahead.
closer to the. If we're like facing, like away from the way we came in, like more of the entrance where the horde is. So it's still like next
Okay.
to the hall, but like so I can like duck behind and hide if I need to.
Okay.
But I should still want to be within of where everything is happening.
Okay, so I've got Belle is going to be towards the western side, as it were,
Yes.
of the. Okay, got it.
So
I think Branda's going to stand with Zerk because Zerk told her very specifically to stay within 30 feet,
Yeah.
but is going to let him do the talking and the yelling.
All right. And Zerk, are you like in the middle of the space where we?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was thinking that space right below the HA, kind of right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Brand, I'm just going to end. Toad, where would you set up? You and your little coterie that we have here.
sorry.
You're fine.
I was gonna set up on the other, so the pincer thing on the other side. If I'm guessing they're gonna appear near Zerk, so
Okay, so eastern side, like that other
eastern
entrance.
side by the way the D pillared in pillared is.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. All right. And your elemental and the Woodier?
Yeah.
Who's just with you?
Yeah. I'm gonna put them in front of us. They're the meat shields in my mind.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So down like further south than all of you?
yeah.
Okay. All right. We ready?
All right. Yeah. If everyone's in position,
Belle's just gonna make sure her head's up and it's ready to go.
Zerk will first hit the his shield, temporary hit points, get those going. There's a little blue kind of aura, like the Halo shield, goes over him. They call out, I answer your call for a champion. I am a scientist from beyond the stars. I bring knowledge and weapons. I will fight for you if you prove yourself to me.
Okay. The echo in this like large space is impressive. The like the sound of it reverberates, and definitely like the acoustics of it probably could use like a little more work on the like it garbles some of your words as you start talking before you reach the end of your speech, but it definitely amplifies both the volume, I guess very literally, of what you're saying, and gives it that like resonance where you can feel sort of the pressure wave disappear into the rock and then up and out along cavern into tunnel. And Ninifreda lets out like this low growl rumble from the like southern part of the room. So obviously like it's not like she didn't hear you, but it adds a little bit of almost like accelerant to what you had said, so that like message spreads and dissipates. And you do have a half breath. Like Zerk's words stop the echo. You can kind of hear the sound disappear and travel through the different rock tunnels out onto the space of the open lava chamber and then up into like the cold mountain wind. And it's just enough time to inhale, and you feel that deep, percussive thrum of force just slam through all of you one more time before you're even able to sort of like catch a full breath. It stops you in your movement of where you are, like even if you were like halfway between blinking. And this force now is significantly, it's almost like it's targeted now in this space. So your ability to resist it is not as strong as it had been. So go ahead, and if you would, wisdom saving throw. If you can resist being stopped in spot as you had been when these had contacted you before.
I didn't suck this time.
Yay!
20.
Nice.
19 from Zerk.
Okay.
12.
17.
All right. So, Belle, that first action that Ninafreda kind of promised you is going to get garbled in your like resisting this urge to almost genuflect or kneel or be like awed by the spectacle of it. But the rest of you are going to have that like moment of intense feeling of like I should, and be able to push past it. Like Toad and Zerk, it's almost like a you know, like you feel it and then are able to work through it pretty quickly. Brand, it takes maybe like a, you know, extra half moment of like, wait a minute, I wouldn't do this. Who are we talking about here? And you're able to not be frozen as this happens. So what Ninafreda had promised you is that in that moment of like arrival or in the beginning, you're going to be able to set yourselves up. And our entity is going to appear right in front of these, they're like right in between the two actual pillars of the pillared hall. In this space, much closer to where like a body of theirs will be, it's a lot easier to see that this like vibrating energy is coming between two forms, almost like a tuning fork vibrating so like hard. But it's the two halves of it are much easier to see, that you have two beings forming that now that you're actually in a space that they occupy. The sound of this, you can feel that thrum of the pressure wave that it's like rocked through you, also kind of dissipating into the ground as they appear. And it's still that very grayed out appearance, but it's distinctly easier to see the more humanoid, they might also have human eyes, forms of both of them. You can make out that they have like this almost like long lapelled vest over top of what looks like a very like gray leather almost that both of them are wearing. The forms are very androgynous, but definitely humanoid, just tall. You have about 12 feet on each of them. It's a slim figure, but they're significantly bigger than like what would be human, but still very much the silhouette of just a normal human, not necessarily elf, not necessarily dwarven, but like a slim human figure. Two of them very close together and in this gray. The features of their faces are very difficult to make out. Like you can tell that there's a smudge of a nose, almost as though it like is just formed very like without a lot of distinction in where the bridge goes. Like really wide, you know, like nostril plate out to the sides. The eyes are, you assume, kind of like black or dark brown. It doesn't look like, not like the sclera, just the actual like eye pupil iris. Not a like no facial hair, and the eyebrows are more of an impression that that's there rather than anything else. And same thing with mouth, is just kind of a like thinner lipped, wider. Like it's the very almost normal, plain but not like distinctively featured faces. Like, aside from the impression that you're getting of just this overwhelming grayness or the vibrating that they're doing, it looks like a face. Not even a particularly gorgeous or impactful one, just a face. And they will stand, though still that like sense of vibration and motion. We sought a champion, and you have offered.
Yes, if you want a true champion, not these peasants and farmers, you must prove you're worthy of a champion.
The sound that comes out of both of them sounds almost like cracking glass first, and then breaks into this little bit of a chuckle of, it is amusing that you would think to ask for our worth to be proven. If you are to serve piously and with our gifts, it is you who must prove yourself worthy. And as they're making this statement, you have that same like sense from Ninafreda of what she told you, that you would be able to have an action, that you'd be able to do something sort of rather than allowing them to move first. That like almost like quickening of your heartbeat and sense of readiness falls over all of you. Belle, it's just harder to work through. Like, it's still there, you're feeling it, but you're still working through the, like, I'm working on getting back my composure to be able to act. But everybody else, you've got it. So my question is, do you intend to strike, or are you going to have a conversation?
With Zerk's action, he's gonna do neither, actually.
Okay.
And
Okay. I'll do either one of those things. Okay, yes.
there is a like a cooled compartment that opens up on his left bicep. There's two syringes, a maroon one and a green one, like a neon green. And he takes the neon green one and stabs it into Bran's arm and casts enlarge on Bran.
That's fine.
That's the thing we're okay with. All right.
Yeah, you know, Brand's used to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. So just the syringe empties in. And now you're double size. You advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, and all your
Sick.
attacks have an additional D4. So
Well, I'm going to take Brand's.
There's always a surprise. I love it. Okay.
Brand is going to take that as a sign to attack.
Okay. So in this free moment, then, Brand, you're going to get an opportunity to move and at least get into like their melee range with this. Zerk, that's going to kind of be the thing that you can do for free. Toad, what are you going to do?
Before the melee starts, if I was thinking of talking to them, but
You can talk. Talk is free action.
Well, seeing that Zerk's just violently stabbed in a large Brand, and Brand's marching that direction, I want to cast Wither and Bloom on the twins before they get in range, before Brand gets in range and messes with the AoE spell.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be while she's, but yes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, while she's running up, I'm going to try do it beforehand, and you can tell me whether I can do that or
not. No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can do this at the same time, because that sphere of influence of Wither and Bloom is like if she's moving into their space, that's going to.
It's a 10-foot radius. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if she's moving into melee range, she's got to be within 5 feet. So yeah.
Oh no, I can just cast it. Okay, cool. Each creature, I just saw each creature of your choice. Didn't read that choice word
Mhm.
beforehand. I'm just going to cast Wither and Bloom on them at second level.
Okay. All right.
It's a con save of 15.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah. No, they will definitely make that. 26, I think, will be your. So.
So they take half damage, and I only did 5 damage. Because
So 2. Yeah.
First blood.
Really got all janky again. Hold on.
It was not a mighty hit as it could have been with, I'm sure, what all of the rest of your, like the same reaction on both of the pieces of it. Yes. Not anymore? No. Okay. Okay. I can see all of you now, and we
think
just
we're fine.
back. Are we
Yes.
back?
Go.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, sorry. I was looking at the stream and looking at this, and it was all looking weird.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
you were correct.
All right. So Branda's gonna move up with our
Sorry.
and.
So what happens because I drew First Blood? I didn't. I was.
So what you notice is that the reaction to your necrotic damage, that you causes the same, like for each of the forms, they both react in the same way.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is important, I promise. Okay. All right. So let's roll some initiative, if you would, please. And somewhere I have
That die was rolling well tonight.
nice.
Was.
Oh no! Sorry. Never mind. I take it back. And then
Same.
okay, that was actually, they didn't do as well as I thought they were going to. Okay, all right. Now let's see if I actually write this down appropriately, because I kept messing this up when I was running with it. The table, that's fine. Yay! Great. Did anyone get above a 20? Great. 20 to 15.
16.
Dang, guys. Okay, 16. Toad. Okay.
16.
Great. Toad, would you also roll for the water elemental and your Woodier, please?
Sure.
All right. Between 15 and 10.
14.
I got a 10.
Okay. And you're actually, I don't think this is maybe not going to matter. Belle, what's your dex?
Plus
What's
4.
+2? It's +2 now, right? Isn't it?
Well, it's
+5?
plus. It was +4, but you gave me +2 with the shadow bead, so that'd be +6.
All right.
Oh no, wait. Yeah.
Okay. And then you said you had a 10, Bran?
Yeah.
All right.
8 for Zerk.
Great. All right. Woodier?
What's the modifier?
I am going to go ahead and assume that it's a 0 because you animated dead. Right? It's probably negative, but I'm taking 0 right now because it's faster.
Cool.
So
Woodier rolled
yeah.
Woodier rolled a 13, and Elemental rolled a 3.
Okay. All right.
I wish it was the other way around.
It's fine. Um,
Same.
all right, fantastic. Toad, you're actually going first. All right. So you have Toad's wither and bloom caused a bit of this like decay magic to make a reaction from both of the figures. And Freda is going to be joining you, but she's not first, which is a little bit hilarious. It's fine. The, so Toad, what would you like to do?
I would like to use some, I'm going to use the symbiotic entity to get 20 temp hit points. And a couple other little bonuses, and that's my action. I don't think I can do
Okay.
anything.
I'm sorry, symbiotic entity.
It's temp HP. It costs me my wild shape for the day.
Yes.
And then double damage for Halo Spores, which is a reaction ability in 1d6 in the last 10 minutes.
Great. Sorry, I was just checking for if it had a, but I don't think it does. Okay. All right, great. And
That's cost me an action, and I don't think I have a bonus action that I can use. And I'd walk up a little bit closer, maybe, but not get in range.
yeah, you can move. Okay.
Still don't
Okay,
want to get into a
great.
fighting range with him yet.
All right, I dig it. And you said 20?
Yeah, I get 20 temp hit points.
Awesome. Okay. All right, and it's going to add to Halo's work. Delightful. Okay, I had to look it up. I wanted to read too. Thank you. Okay, Belle, you're going to be on deck. Ninafreda gets to go. So she is not happy about this, but like now they're in her home, and we get to see if we can fight things. So she is going to decide what we're going to do with this fun thing. Is well, now I've got you in range. So she's going to make a. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can do. Okay, yeah. So Brand, this might end up affecting you because you're gonna be in the way because you're in melee range, and Toad, you're not right now, right? You haven't moved closer.
No.
Yeah. Okay, but it does mean the Woodier and your Elemental probably are. So you're gonna have to roll for them for me, okay?
Okay.
So Ninafreda is going to move close enough that she's about 50, still like about 50 feet away from you guys, and she's gonna let out a like rumble low in her throat that turns into this crackling sound and sends out these tiny little shards of ice. Brand, would you please make a Constitution saving throw, if you would, please? And you're gonna do the same thing for the Elemental and for Whittier.
Cool.
I'm sorry, not 50. She's 30 feet away.
You said Constitution saving throw?
Yes, please. Great. Whittier is going to take some ice damage, but not as much as before.
I got a 5.
Okay. All right. So you're also going to take some cold damage then. It's fine. All right. Okay. All right. So this guy.
That's probably immune to cold damage, though.
Yeah. The
It's immune
it's
to
not
poison
immune
damage.
to cold. No. It's only immune to poison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. So where did I put my thing? Here we go. All right.
I'm gonna grab a pen. I don't have one.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right. And the water elemental is going to take the same. But it's going to be fine because those have a ton of short points, actually. So don't worry about it. All right. Toad, the water elemental, is going to take 11 points of cold damage.
Yep.
And so is Woodier, which probably takes him down. Yeah?
He rolled a 16. Or
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry. Then he's going to take 5.
Okay.
Okay. But it is going to hit our twins as well. Crap. Okay. Well, it's going to hit them. It's not going to hit them as badly as it is. It's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. And Ninafreya is going to get into their melee space on the opposite side of you, Brand. And she's going to stop there for now. Okay, Belle.
Okay, so since we have multiple people within 5 feet, I am going to do my summon a psychic blade in my hand and toss it at them. I should be within 60 feet.
Yes.
So my sparkling purple
Or at least you
weapon.
can be. Yeah.
Yeah. I would want to.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that is going to be no. That would be a natural 1 to hit. So I'm guessing that doesn't hit.
No.
And then do I want to hide? I don't know what they're gonna do. So yeah, I'll take my bonus action and I'll like hide around that little corner.
Okay. Would you roll stealth for me, please?
Yes. God, I'm rolling horribly. 6 plus. Oh, I get advantage on stealth though. That's 6. Ah, that's better. 21.
Okay. All right.
And
great.
then do I add +2 to that, or is it +2 to my base?
For
Shadow
for
Beads.
your stealth, that's the proficiency, right?
Yeah. Or the
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the proficiency is partly based on level. So if you're rolling specifically stealth in this case, it's just the +2 is fine. So if you're at 21, I'm also not going to be worried.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Has gotten within melee range of them. They're going to do one of their legendary actions, which is they're going to split apart a little. So in one blink of this vibration, they're going to be looking like they've been looking so far, which is that they're close enough together and moving on the same almost frequency that they can be construed for the same entity a lot of the time. It's clear that they're two but close together. And with this, they're going to split and move 30 feet apart. So in this pillared hall, it's basically going to be splitting so that they're 30 feet between the two of them, but on either side of a pillar from where you can see. And great, don't worry, it doesn't mean anything. All right. So when they're going to split into the two, it's a little bit clearer now that while both faces are very androgynous, they're a little bit there's a difference to them. So it's not perfectly identical twins. Before, it was seeing kind of the same features, but now that they're not vibrating on exactly that same frequency, there's enough of a difference that it's looking at a pair of human identical twins, where it's close enough to see that they have the same features, but things are a little bit different. One has a slightly broader jaw, one of them has a little bit of a higher forehead kind of look going on. But distinct enough, and once again, bringing a little bit more of that human into what you've seen so far from this mess. And the first of them is going to be close enough to Woodier that it's going to strike out with its long sword. So we're going to see if we can hit. Where is my down here? No, that did not roll well at all. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and assume actually that a 10 will probably hit Whittier actually.
That
Okay.
hits.
All right. So they're going to hit Whittier with their longsword. And it's going to do 9 points of damage to Whittier.
Cool. Whittier is still kicking. Sorry. That's
Okay.
I wanna-
Great. The other, which is on like sort of this one on the eastern side of the hall, is going to throw something at Brand now that it's no longer immediately in front of you. So Brand, a 24, I'm assuming, hits you. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, great.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to go with you're probably nodding because I'm not looking at you right now.
Sorry, yes, I was nodding.
You're good. Okay, that's only 6 damage then.
I can do with 6.
It's not rolling very well right now. Okay. So you have this same as like the time bread, what looks like a large throwing dart, but now it has like multiple polygons it really shouldn't have. It's not emitting any light, but it flies out of like this movement is jerky but fast. Like you're seeing like frames that don't quite add up, and toss it at you and kind of like embeds in the like skin and muscle of your the longsword also is more put together, but has that same like shifting view that the time bread did. It's not got a little shimmer that wasn't quite there before. So Whittier can do a thing. What is Whittier going to do? Brand, you're up next, and Zerk, you're after Brand.
Whittier's gonna try hit the guy who hit him.
Okay, so the first of the twins. Okay,
Yes, the first of the
Right.
twins.
Great.
Okay. We just do this on roll 20. So 17 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, so it doesn't hit.
So Whittier is going to like I don't know, does it like flail out like a zombie? What does Whittier do when?
He's just
Awesome. Great. So it doesn't hit, but what you notice about the way that it doesn't hit is that when what like would have normally sort of passed through part of the like flesh or like along the raiment that they're wearing, it's like it goes in between the different layers of this like polygonal prismatic kind of form. So the like Whittier's attack doesn't hit, doesn't fit, like doesn't collect, because it kind of goes in between those different shifting perspectives on the first one. All right, Brand.
All right. Well, the moment that we've been waiting for, and I can, in theory, hit a lot if I can hit. So, Brand is just going to start swinging. The tattoo that covers one of her arms is already lit up. She is large and in charge.
Yes,
so I guess she will
enlarged with neon green. Like it's definitely not a reference or anything.
Definitely not.
Nope.
Perfect. Okay, great. Well, so then I'm just going to start attacking.
Okay. So real question is, which of the twins are you going for?
Neither of them have been hit. Right? Like they've They
A little
well, they've
bit of-
taken damage from an area thing, right? Not
So they
from-
took damage from the ice that Ninefreda threw out, and they took a little bit of necrotic damage from the Wither and Bloom that Toad
right.
put at them. They've split, and
Okay.
Whittier went after the one, and it didn't connect.
Right. Okay. I will try the one that Whittier did not attack then.
All right, so that's going to be the one
We'll
on the
see.
eastern side. This one is, we're calling them Twin 2 right now because
Yes.
Dr. Seuss did it right.
Yes. All right, cool. 22.
Sorry, I was typing a thing. 22. I had this in front of me. 22 will hit it. Yep.
All right. Then let me see how many points I have here at my disposal. Not enough is the answer. Not terrible. Okay. All right. We're going to go all out for this first turn and then see what we can do after the fact.
Great.
So I am doing that. I attack, I hit. I am going to spend a key point to activate Fangs of the Fire Snake, and I'm going to do additional damage on top of what I would normally do. So I need this. I need this. I need this. And oh, right. Okay, cool.
And you're big. Punch him.
So 21 points of damage for the first one, for the first attack.
And remind me what kind of damage you do?
That would be. That
And
would
this
all be
is great.
fire because I spent the key point.
Okay. Okay. So 21 points of fire specifically.
Yes.
Okay, great. It connects. You can feel the fire like fizzle out a little bit when it hits. So it's not doing quite the same impact that you would have expected on just like a normal, we've used this before in sparring war, but it does do damage.
Well, I can only do that the once this turn, so that's good. Oh, actually, well, that's still good to know. So I took the attack action. I'm going to spend a key point. I'm going to make 2 unarmed attacks with Flurry of Blows.
Great, go.
So that is going to be a 20.
Punch. Okay. 20 will hit, yes.
Okay, cool. No fire damage on that one, but everything else is still the same. So 17 points of bludgeoning damage that time.
Nice, okay.
Does that seem fully effective as opposed to the fire?
That one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The
right.
We'll sit for the like concussive force of actual like bludgeoning and all of those. It's like the layers don't matter because you're kind of going through all of them as you're making the impact. So yeah, they feel satisfying actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So next one.
Next one, I rolled a 19, which I wish crit ranges were still a thing.
19
14 points of damage on that one, though.
Okay.
26.
26 to hit. And
Yes.
14 points of damage? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Bludgeoning, and then I get one more attack.
Cool.
That's why I enlarged the monk.
Exactly. I rolled the same thing I rolled last time, 19 for 26. So, assuming that hits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. That is max damage on all 3 of these dice. So,
Nice. So add
25 damage.
Woo!
because there's a
I
plus
rolled a
1 in there
6, an
somewhere.
8, and a 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. I'm sorry. A total of 25. Thank you. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Nice. All right. The pummeling hits of our our monk made even larger by like what before had seemed like that vibration now almost looks like the body of the one twin that he's pummeling is like snapping into different positions every time you blink as this is happening, and like the blows of the physical hits like definitely do like land and make the form like twist and like groan for like it's hitting um in a way that is like that was an uncomfortable round for twin number 2. All right, Zerk, you are up.
Awesome. I would like to, as part of my movement, just activate the wing boots, my jet boots. So I'm just hovering like 10 feet off the ground, and I like to go up to the one that Bran was attacking, and hopefully be able to flank from the other side, and attack twin number 2 as well.
Okay.
Am I able to get flanking?
I think you can. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got.
All right.
It might be
Cool.
squishy, but it's.
All right. I'm gonna do 2 attacks.
Okay. Go.
That's going to be 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
21 will hit. All right. Whopping 8 thunder damage on that one.
Nice. Okay.
And then next one is that's really bad. That is only 13 to hit.
13 does not hit.
13 is not hit. But yeah, it's enough to the one hit. Twin number 2 has disadvantage on all attacks other than Zerk.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Even with that, the Thunder Gauntlet connects, and the little micro drones kind of find their way to the weapon hand, ready for any strike.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Cool. All right. The elemental can go if you. And then Toad will be back at you after.
The elemental is going to attempt to grapple the. So I've got one question. When they twins split apart, did the one twin move within 10 feet of Toad, or
So the
I have a reaction
before.
I'm asking about?
Oh no! When they split apart sideways, not the other direction. But they also
Okay.
wouldn't have been within 10 feet of you anyway because you're not close.
Yes,
You're
but,
still because like you didn't move, right? You're still at the entrance of the cavern. Yeah.
yes.
No. So neither one of them is within 10 feet.
Okay. So the water elemental is going to want to walk up to the twin that isn't being pummeled by everyone.
Okay.
And try to grapple it.
Okay.
There's a DC of a save of strength 15 for that twin. So he has to succeed on the 15.
Okay. Yeah, that's. Oh, actually, they rolled relatively badly. I'm sorry. What was the number again?
15.
Heyo. Yeah, sure. You have grappled that one. They rolled
Okay.
real bad. Okay. They rolled a 2. They Right.
So they take some damage from the grapple.
They don't, but
They don't.
Okay.
No, this is the water elemental
I know.
whelm. So they don't take that damage.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, but the water elemental is just holding him down.
Yep. They're grappled. Yeah. No, I got you. Okay.
Oh, so is immune to water? Okay.
Yep. All right, great. So Toad, what do you want to do? Because now we're at the top of the round.
I want to cast Chill Touch on the one that's getting pummeled.
Okay.
So that's 17 to hit.
17 will hit
Okay.
on the one that is being.
11 damage.
Okay. And it is specifically that's cold damage, yes?
It is.
I think it's necrotic for Chill Touch.
I think it's
Yeah, and this
necrotic.
is why I want to
Yeah.
be sure.
Yeah, it's necrotic.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's called Chill Touch, but it's not. Okay, great. All right, wonderful. All right, 11 damage. Thank you.
11 necrotic damage. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Chill Touch, which is not really chilly. Or it might be chilly, but it's chilly from death. Not chilly from
And it's a
death.
ranged spell, not a touch spell.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
It's the worst name. I know. Yeah, I was like, I know, but I'm like, it's not cold. It's what? Great. Okay, so you've like landed that like terrible like death hand feel of just the reach of death. Which actually the damage from that one, while it does do damage, you can feel like also there's a little bit of a almost like a fear reaction that goes across the face of the one twin that you've hit with that when it happens.
Okay.
All right. So Ninafreda is going to, with her action for this one, attempt to bite the shit out of the one of them. Hi, honey. Oh, hi. Okay. I thought we were going to get a pet on screen, but you might have only seen a tail for like 2 seconds. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. No. But she's going to try multi-attack because we can do that. Shit. Okay. So she attempts to bite the one twin to that Brand has also been pummeling from twin number 2, and both of the bites just miss. I'm gonna go with because she's trying to like gingerly not hit the rest of you as this happens, like avoiding Zerk and avoiding Brand in order to make this go. She just rolled real bad, so hopefully we're just saving the real good, like the good ones for later. It's fine. So both of those like snapping bites and the like almost like sound of like blades that are so well fit together, like scissors or razors, as the snap of her jaws. Like you hear not just the like muscle and the snap of the bone, but also that like shearing of the sharpness of her teeth against each other. But it doesn't connect either time, sadly. All right, Belle.
All right, I'm going to come out around the corner and try this. For the one that's closest to me. So if I'm on the western side, that's going to be twin.
So 2 is actually
2?
close. Oh, you're on the eastern. Oh, no, you're on the western
No,
side.
I'm
I'm sorry.
the western.
1 is closest to you. Yes,
1.
I know.
Okay.
I got my east and west messed up. That was my fault, not yours.
Okay, so I will go for 1 then, since they're closer with my psychic blade. Okay, 15 plus 22 to hit. Okay. Then I guess I'll hide again. 22 doesn't hit?
No,
okay.
Not on that one.
Not on that one. Ah, okay. Good to know. All right.
Okay.
Yep. Bonus action hide, and I'll do stealth.
Okay.
No. Okay.
So that's the one that has the water element wrapped around it too.
But that'll be 22 to hide.
To hide. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. So twins go next. The both of them have that same like almost thrum of energy now, and the 2 forms snap back together for as their turn comes up and they finish their full round. So as they come back together, the one form that felt like it wasn't receiving any of the damage that was coming at it, as it coalesces back together within like this very, very close space with the other twin that had been harmed, they you can see that the effect of being hit, etc., that the second twin had been taking so much damage kind of normalizes as the 2 of them come together. Like you can see that they, in like a bare instant, the impacts that it had been receiving separately affect both of them now that they're together. Like you can feel like those like points when they like sucked in a breath or had to absorb energy happens now that they are together. It's like the 2 of them felt it. But they are now one form again. So what had been Brand and Zerk directly on top of twin 2 you guys would have this form zoom sort of between the two of you. So now Zerk is going to be within melee range of the two of them together. And Brand, you're going to have to move a little bit in order to get back into melee. Okay. So with the two of them now together, that Zerk is so close, they are going to lash out and attempt to hit you. Specifically, let's see.
So the water elemental grapple did nothing at all. Just magic.
They're back in one form now, so no.
So, and there was the grapple is broken, so they're not.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a legendary action. Okay, Zerk.
One shield for the day, and a purple aura comes down. Xerxes gonna miss the block, taps into his psychic nature and bumps his AC.
Great. It's going to try again then, because it can do that. It's definitely not going to hit you that time, though. So the longsword comes down, hits this wall of energy, and in a swipe backwards that almost seems like it's coming from the other arm, it's going to attempt to hit you again, but this time it misses off of just the barest difference of distance, and the longsword does not reach you. All right, Woodier and then Brand. Woodier's still alive.
Yeah, Woodier is still alive. He's a champ.
We're going to try to do another big pummel round.
Yeah, make it happen.
Cool. So when they came together again, was it obvious which one could be hurt? Did it switch? Was there an obvious tell?
When they came together again, you could see the damage that had been done is affecting them as a unit. Does that make sense?
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well then I'm going to
You got it.
Cool. All right. First attack, no fire. 24.
24 will hit. Yep. I know Brand's
13 points of damage.
Green, but is anyone else imagining that right now? Which one? 13?
13.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So this is my basic extra attack, which is going to be 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
$13 again. Same.
Cool. Okay.
And now I'm going to spend a key point to flurry and attack 2 more times. That one's a miss. But that one is 24. So that one would hit.
Okay.
And that is going to be not great. 14 instead of 13.
Nice. Okay. All right, but that was still, yeah. These, like the pure physical damage force on the twins now that they're back together is same thing, like twisting these like two forms back and forth. Like it's definitely hurting, and it is almost making it seem more like you're hitting flesh than it was when you first started. It feels a little bit more real. So yeah. All right. That means that Zerk is
Cool. All right. Since I'm still next to
okay. That one won't hit.
nope.
So do better.
18.
Anything else?
Not really anything fun. That I
Doesn't have
want
to be fun.
as a bonus action, not really. I mean, got sanctuary, but I don't think I'm gonna attack again. So we're all like attacking. All right, no, I'm good.
Okay. The 13-point blow, especially after all of those like concussive, just like pummeling that Brand did, has meant that now this like form is almost curled in its posture. Like you could tell that you have reached a point of last legs. So Toad's Elemental is up next.
Elemental's going to try Mac it twice with its multi attack.
Okay, it's got to move first. Yeah.
It's going to
Okay.
Slither over.
Great. Leave a nice slime of pond water on the floor. I'm afraid it will make it clean that up later. Yep. Put itself in a bucket.
It rolls a 9 to hit on the first attack.
Okay, that one's not going to hit.
And a natural 1 for an 8 to hit on the second attack.
Okay, that one's not going to hit it either.
Yeah.
It's made out of algae water. That might be a thing. But hey, Toad, you're up next. You're so close. Roll up.
25 to hit.
25 will hit.
And 9 damage.
I know, they're so close. You got
9 damage.
Excellent. Please tell me what this looks like when you hit it. Yeah.
It's a
Cheat sheets on my erase.
tiny blue. It's a tiny blue slime mold that's sort of licking its cheek.
Why must you make this?
Like skin to slough off with it with the poison damage.
With what kind?
With the sort of the necrotic nature of
The
it.
necrotic,
some of the
right?
skin is
Okay,
sloughing
because you
off.
said
as
poison. That's different.
Sorry,
It's
yes,
necrotic?
I meant to say, yeah.
Okay. All right. So whatever it is about this profoundly disgusting experience, damage from like the network of slime mold mucus greatness. Who else would that not? The two of them finally stop the vibration motion that's been happening between the two forms, and it falls together and then apart as now on like two figures completely on their knees on the like precipice of passing out. But what before had outside of quite like the normal look, not just because of the motion, now looks like two taller than average human twins. Like in the course of damage that you've caused, all of what would you might have called the divinity or the otherworldliness of them has just drained out. They're barely conscious, but hanging on, sort of slumped onto the ground at Toad's feet, apparently slightly covered in slime.
Oh, I'm still like 50 feet back.
So we're out of combat now. The divine spark that kept them going is now apparently extinguished, but they are not with it enough to actually form sentence. Your former goblin friend in dragon form will kind of stomp over to look over top of each of them, and give the pronouncement that she'll take care of the two mortal forms of, and she'll say it the first time, the progeny of Sindor, and that they will not be causing this kind of trouble. So nice job.
Literally on
And
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the effect of the two of them forming this mortal body doesn't immediately change the chambers around you, but the hi, please don't do that with the cord. Thank you. The setting around you of the actual volcano chamber. Now you haven't done, other than apparently leaving a trail of gross water on the floor, you haven't done a ton of like destruction to the actual layer. But in the yeah, I can't seem to hit you guys, really, is the other problem with this. That
AC of 27 helps that.
yeah, as you take a moment, the heat and the light from the lava seems to fade, and the structure that was there to form this into an actual layer seems to almost, like, when you're not looking, come back to a more structured, polished, put together piece. The howling of the wind starts dying down. The state and dealing with yourselves. The space doesn't look. There's no river of lava through the floor. The floor isn't cracked. The one pillar that hadn't been standing, that had been out along the middle of the floor, is now where it should have been. You almost didn't even notice coming back into place. And you have a dragon that is happy for your assistance in terms of making her lair return back to the way that it should have been.
Can we see skylight from the top? Is there any light coming in from the
So
top?
the hall where you are now, it does not open up to the sky. But if you wanted to, the central room that had like the caldera, that like the lava it has one space enough for her like actual form to exist there, but it also is like plushly outfitted as though you would be receiving like not just like human guests, but you know, it is outfitted for the comfort and like entertaining of guests. So there's a absolutely ginormous like wooden table that runs along like the middle of that's set as though it is like in place for you to invite people with food and drink, and like there's carpets and cushions and different sizes of places for you to relax or sleep, or and if you decide to go into that room, there is a like perfectly carved circle out of the middle of the vaulted ceiling of this volcanic rock that shows the moon up in the sky.
Zerk would like to fly up through that hole in the ceiling and just get a survey of the land around. Is everything going back to normal? And is the comet still in the sky? Are the two things he's looking for.
So from your like vantage point up above the mountain, um, it looks like the parts that look healed, for lack of a better word, are coming out of the like epicenter of where you are right now. There is no comet in the sky, but the places that looked sort of less developed in like the rural areas surrounding you don't quite look like they've been touched yet by the effect of this. Like it's almost like it's spreading outward from where you are. But it's only been a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And Zerk flies back down and relays that information to the group and then asks, what do we do with these two?
Ninifreda is going to offer that uh, her plan is that they basically have to go back to life as commoners.
Who are they? Where do they
as
come from?
mortals. She goes, I don't care. The and there'll be like a moment, and then Ninifreda will come back into Goblin Form. She's like, I can't have this conversation with you. And she'll like sit in the middle of like a very puffy cushion in the middle of this receiving hall. And while she is significantly less like imposing in this form, it still sort of looks like she's decided to like hold court in this space. I had promised that I would contact Marika, but she's not. That's from our existing relationship. I don't suspect that their divine heritage was paying them much mind. So the divine spark that they did carry, without the faith or piety of the followers and the power that they did exert, they'd have to actually become champions the long way to hope of finding that again. Like a divine spark that you weren't born with isn't exactly the easiest thing to come across. Like at that point, they'd have to earn it.
I would urge you to relay to America that if these two could do it, others could follow. Find the roots of how they ascended or tried to ascend this way before the next people do.
True. You could also relay the message. You know,
I have
could
a feeling.
pray.
I have a feeling my time in here is near the end. I must return home to my people as well.
True ascension would be a hard, and cults alone wasn't going to do it, but it was enough trouble in the meantime that we needed to do something about it. But they've got a mortal existence to try again from scratch, and a normal lifespan of mortality. I mean, it'll please me to like drop them off at a dock somewhere, but feel like I don't need to keep tabs. I'll relay the message to Marika, though. I can also offer what now things that you would like to share in some of my hoard that exists. Be happy to outfit you for the next adventure. And if you did want to spend some time contacting Marika, I suspect that she'd probably be willing to let you try on the mantle of at least a little bit of paladin or cleric if you wanted. All right, so you get to raid a treasure room from your silver dragon friend. You have taken what was a demigod that was hoping to ascend to better digs through chaos and the development of piety and faith of people that were fooled by this trickery. They were children of a god with a demigod, with a god of time. And part of the reason that all of the massive things that happened went backwards is because it's significantly easy to make those disruptions to time happen in places that have already occurred, as opposed to things that happen in the future. The volcano is no longer erupting. Time bread was delicious, as it worked out. It only needed like a little bit of a touch, and you all got to do some lovely hits to kind of divinely inspired, but still frustrating teenagers, more or less. And save the day. Nice job. And nobody died. Yay.
Yeah. Praise to the bread.
Yay.
All right. Well, things in our plotline might have also twisted with the mercies and ravages of time as we went through. And people have been very patient with me now because we are well over time. So we're going to head out. But if you've been with us for any part of this, thank you very much for being a part. And we hope that if you enjoyed it, as I said before, that you would think about donating to International Rescue Committee or Extra Life or any of the other things that we work to benefit. And that you will consider joining our Discord so you can see cute pictures of our pets instead of just listening to them run back and forth in front of the screen. And that you will tune in for any of the other games that are going on right now, including the other Wildcard Wednesday that will happen on the Wednesdays that were not this one. So, yeah, we've got things on most days of the week, at least every other week now. So if you are into Pokemon or the idea of becoming a hero as a high schooler, or if the idea of living a second life to come back is, I don't even know how to explain Veil Breakers in 2 seconds, but any of that interests you even a little bit, we'd really love for you to tune for those. Will, do you want to plug anything before we?
No, that's it, really. Join the Discord, follow the socials, check out the other stuff we have going on. That's it.
We love it. Thanks for being a part. Hope you had fun, and have a great night.